Good morning, students. Good morning, students. I'm Ankit and you're watching Indian Express Analysis. Today is 23rd of August. How all have you been doing for the last 2 days? I was unable to take the classes because of my other obligations, and I also had a lot of work, etc. So I was unable to take the session. I hope you don't mind, because I will actually cover up all the rest out or left out articles today, so you don't have to worry at all. Today is 23rd of August and we are going to look at important articles that we have missed out on. We will start our today's discussion by this first article of the day, which talks about saltwater crocodile. You'll laugh at hearing this, but saltwater crocodile has also been called as salty. So why is saltwater crocodile in news? What are its important habits, habitats and protection status, which is important from a UPSC perspective? We'll try to find out in our today's discussion, and this is relevant from GS paper 3 perspective, and also quite frequently you'll see the important species that are in news that have been asked in the prelims before. So automatically this becomes important. In the second article, we are going to cover the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. It has been in news multiple times because of its obligation to protect the child rights and what all statute it covers, what is the roles, responsibility, composition, we will understand in our today's discussion. Now, this NCPCR is not a constitutional body, it is a statutory body. So obviously, it might be getting its power from a law passed by Indian Parliament. So what is that law? Everything we are going to find out today. So this is relevant from GS paper 2 because statutory, regulatory bodies, etc. are a part of polity syllabus. In the third article, we are going to understand the concept of non-performing assets. What are non-performing assets? And in addition to that, we'll take a look at Prime Minister Mudra Yojana, because the news article that we are going to cover, it talks about increasing NPAs in the PM Mudra Yojana. So the concept of NPA is important, and the concept or the scheme of PM Mudra Yojana also becomes very important. This is relevant from banking sector perspective and also from financial inclusion perspective, which are the parts of GS paper 3 syllabus. In the fourth article, we are going to cover the International Solar Alliance. It is an alliance of countries who want to increase the deployment of renewable energy, particularly the solar energy. Now, International Solar Alliance, or also called as International Solar Alliance, will cover ISA in great detail in our today's discussion. This is a global body, so it becomes important from GS paper 2 perspective. In the last article, we are going to understand another important global body, that is the International Criminal Court. International Criminal Court remains in news for n number of things. Sometimes it tries to prosecute President Putin, sometimes it tries to prosecute Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. But has it been able to prosecute these powerful individuals? The answer is no. So why is it making so much effort? What is the reason behind it? Everything we are going to find out in our today's discussion. The last article again becomes important from GS paper 2 perspective. Now, how is everyone doing? Baga, long time no see. Shubhraj, good morning. Geeta, Rupa, Anuj, Rishi, Yashi. Anuj, long time. Santwana, अंकित, अच्छा ये मैं ही, ओके. ऋषि, आर्या, यशी, धीरज, ऋषि, अनुज, जूही, गुड मॉर्निंग. जर्नल ऑफ एन एस्पिरेंट, बेंजीर, गुड मॉर्निंग. गौरव, गुड मॉर्निंग. Oshika, Baga, good morning all of you. How all are you doing? I hope everything is going great. I hope you are staying dry from all the monsoon that is happening across the country. Well, when I was returning yesterday from office, I carry a chota umbrella. But yesterday rain was so intensive that umbrella betrayed me and the water started coming inside. So I was drenched by the time I entered my house. But I was not worried about me drenching. I was worried about my shoes getting wet. So you can understand life priorities. Now, the notes of this session will be available on this particular Telegram channel, ATS Live. Okay. Now you must be wondering why I don't take Indian Express sessions these often. First reason is because of the work obligation. Second reason is the lack of views. Now, lack of views is something which gets to you. It does not motivate you from making more efforts. So in my case, it does not motivate me. It does not encourage me to make such good presentation and articles. That is why, in case if you improve the view count, I will be motivated to take these sessions even after I am overwhelmed with the work, right? You have to understand this. What I'm asking you to attend these sessions regularly on a live basis so that you get to ask the doubts from me. And also, since you'll be committed to this work, I'll also be committed on my delivery obligations, that is the taking sessions every day. Understood my predicament? I hope you all understand this problem, and I hope all of you do your part which is necessary. Venom, good morning. Rishi, how are things in Kanpur? Now let us start by understanding saltwater crocodile, because saltwater crocodile in population in Bengal's Sundarban Biosphere Reserve has shown a substantial increase. This is the news article that we are going to take. Now this is the species that we are going to cover. See how majestic and how dangerous it looks at the same time. This is the saltwater crocodile. I have told you there are multiple types of crocodile and species. Saltwater crocodile, mugger, freshwater crocodile, also that ghadial, right? So you understand the differences between different crocodile species. Now we are going to talk about saltwater crocodile today. Why? State Forest Department's its latest surveys found that the population of saltwater crocodile, which is amongst the world's largest reptile, has risen in the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. Now we are not going to emphasize on this particular protected area because we are going to focus on the species that is in use. This protected area will cover it sometime else. Now first let us understand few characteristics and popularity of saltwater crocodile. Yes, Yashi, you are one of the regular attendees. I have to give it to you. Now, saltwater crocodile is the largest and heaviest living reptile in the world. Its scientific name is Crocodylus porus, and it is also called as estuarine crocodile, Indo-Pacific crocodile, marine crocodile, sea crocodile, or informally salty. Understand the name salty. So this basically sounds like a candy or a tangy candy. Now, whenever a species is in news, we cover that species from three different characteristics: habits, habitats, as well as protection status. So let us do the same with saltwater crocodile also. First, let us cover the habits of the saltwater crocodile. Now, first let us cover the habitats of the saltwater crocodile. First, the saltwater crocodile, as the name suggests, is a crocodile that lives in saltish or brackish water. So you won't find them in rivers. You'd find them near the salty water bodies like sea, oceans, etc. So they are available in India's eastern coast, in the protected areas of Sundarbans, Bhitarkanika National Park. Any idea where Sundarban is? Any idea where Bhitarkanika National Park is? Or should I tell them to you? They are also available in Southeast Asia and the Sunda region. Sunda region is nearby the Indonesia, and also available in Northern Australia and Micronesia. So that is why they are called as Indo-Pacific crocodiles. Sundarbans is in West Bengal and Bhitarkanika is in Odisha. Good Rishi, good Baga. Yes, good Shantwana also. Shantwana, I had to expect this question from you at least. Yes, Yashi. Yes, Rishi, all of you are right. Now, the habits of saltwater crocodile. Saltwater crocodile is an apex predator. It has a hyper carnivorous eating patterns, and it is also very opportunistic when it comes to eating habits. So it'll take a look at some species it wants to eat and it will go and eat it. And it is not carnivorous, basically hyper carnivorous in nature. So if a question comes, saltwater crocodile eats plants, you obviously know that is incorrect. Also, in terms of its behavioral patterns, the crocodiles or the saltwater crocodile particularly, they are solitary in nature, especially the adult males. They like to wander off like millennials whenever they are forced to work. Similarly, they are very territorial in nature. Large males, they often dominate the wide stretches of rivers, estuaries and coastlines. So these are highly territorial apex predators, like the apex predators that we see in the forest, like tigers and lions. These are also very territorial in nature. So these are the habits that you have to remember. Now let us understand other important features of saltwater crocodile, and then we'll look at the protection status. The average male is about 5 meters long and 500 kgs in weight. So you can understand how long an average male saltwater crocodile is. Female crocodiles are a bit smaller, 3 meters long and more than 100 kilograms. Now the color of these species are dark greenish brown with a lightish underbelly, aiding them or providing them camouflage in the aquatic habitats. Similarly, they possess thick armored skin with strong scales for protection. Now their arm skin or thick armored skin, this has been used for making leather bags. So the crocodile leather bags are very famous and they are very expensive also. So people who get rich quite quickly, the nouveau rich, they want to show their wealth status by buying these kind of crocodile leather bags. So you can understand how capitalism promotes killing of animals. Right, there was this Birkin bag which was released, made from the crocodile's leather. It was sold out even before it was launched. You know why? Because it has been high in demand, particularly from the nouveau rich. Okay. Now let us understand the protection status. The numbers are quite high, so that is why they are listed as least concerned species in the IUCN Red List. Whereas the CITES Convention, it lists them in Appendix 1. Similarly, the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. So they are provided the highest protection status in India, in line with other important species like lion, tigers, etc. Okay. Now let's see how many of you are able to solve this question. Yes, they are globally abundant. But still you shouldn't kill them, right, for leather bags. What's this logic? Obviously, this is incorrect. Rivers and wetlands, they are fresh waters, not saltish waters. They're the largest living reptiles and least concerned. Both of these are right. So option C is right. All of you have gotten it right. Yes. Now moving to the next article. This article basically talks about National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Why are we talking about this article? Because Supreme Court, it dismissed a plea that was submitted by the NCPCR, which challenged a 2022 Punjab Haryana High Court ruling which allowed marriage of girls age 15 and above under Muslim personal law despite being banned by the POCSO Act. Now recently there was this video done by Vishal sir on POCSO Act, so you can go and watch this video. You'll have a fair bit of idea about POCSO Act. Today we'll focus more on the NCPCR, that is National Commission for Protection of Child Right. Why this body was formed in the first place? Because India acceded or signed a particular UN convention, that is UN Convention of Rights of Child 1992. And once a country becomes a part of this UN convention, there is a requirement that this country should have a separate body which should take care and ensure the protection of child rights. So to follow this convention, Government of India decided to form a separate body for protection of child rights, that is NCPCR. Now this is a statutory body. It was constituted by an act formed by Indian Parliament, Commission of Protection of Child Rights Act 2005. The mandate of this act is to protect and promote the child rights in India, and it also monitors the implementation of 3 acts in India: POCSO, Juvenile Justice Act and Right to Education Act. And as the name suggests, all these 3 acts deal with children. Okay. Now what you have to understand is the composition of NCPCR. Whenever any body, regulatory, constitutional, statutory is in use, you'll have to understand how the chairmen or the members in charge of those bodies are elected, selected, appointed, and what are their terms of duration. So here the chairperson would be an eminent personality who has an outstanding record in working for child welfare, and the tenure in which the chairman serves is for 3 years or until the 65 years of age, whichever is the maximum. Similarly, they can serve on a tenure of not more than 2 times. So the maximum time a person can serve is for 6 years. Okay. Similarly, there are 6 also other members of this commission, which includes at least 2 women from the fields such as education, child health, child development, juvenile justice, child labor eliminations, all these figures. And these people, they serve on a 3-year tenure or until they attain the age of 60 years. They can also serve for a maximum of 2 terms. Okay. Now these members, they are appointed by the central government, particularly by a committee which includes 3 members. This committee is headed by the education minister. So not the prime minister, but an education minister led committee which fixes this particular appointment of the NCPCR. And as central government is appointing them, so you can understand it is only the central government who can remove them from office on the grounds such as insolvency, unsound mind, incapacity, misuse of office, conviction with moral turpitude, etc. So these are the grounds of removal. They are appointed and removed both by the central government. Now what this body does, it reviews and recommends measures for effective child rights protection. It submits report to the central government on how safeguard and effectiveness of child rights needs to be done. It investigates violation of child rights and recommends action, and it also inspects child care institutions like juvenile homes, like juvenile detention centers, so that the child rights are not violated in these kind of institutions. Similarly, it can also take suo motu notice, that is a notice on its own for any child right violation that might be reported in media. Also, it implements RTI Act, that it reviews the implementation of Right to Education Act. POCSO Act monitors the designation of special courts guidelines. Any idea why this monitors special court guidelines? Now, to try cases for POCSO, there are separate special courts that are being set up by the government. Now, whenever a child is subjected to certain criminal activities, you understand the psyche of that child is affected. And if you put that child into a normal court, the kind of cross questioning or the kind of glare of people that would be there on the court would negatively impact the mental health of the child. So policymakers know this thing. So that is why they have created a separate courts where the POCSO cases would be heard. And also it is a requirement of the people who are involved in the investigation of those cases that you don't have to harass the child. You need to take the information from the child, right? You want to take the evidences or even the statements of the child, right? But this shouldn't be done in a matter that further violates the dignity or the psyche of the child. And this needs to be ensured. And who ensures this? NCPCR. Similarly, child care institutions, they also are regulated, and the social audit of these institutions are conducted under the overall watch of the NCPCR. So this is what these things do. Now the powers of this body has a power of a civil court. So what it can do, it can summon witness, examine their records under oath. It can demand them to give documents to highlight their evidences. It receives affidavits and issues commissions for examination of witness. Similarly, after inquiry, it may recommend prosecution, approach Supreme Court or High Court for enforcement of writs, that is in case of violation of fundamental rights, and it also recommends interim relief which might be provided to victims or their family members. So this is what the NCPCR does. Now the key initiatives of NCPCR is also very important. These can be asked in exams. Now POCSO e-box, this is an online complaint system for child sexual abuse. So if people are finding it or they are hesitating to go to a police station to register the complaint, they can do so online. Similarly, there is a Samvardhan. This Samvardhan is a vulnerability mapping program for combating the child trafficking. Similarly, there is a Masi app. See how creatively this has been named. Who is called Mausi or Masi in India? It is our mother's sister. Now what does Mausi do? They keep an eye on everything. What iska bachcha kya kar raha hai, uska bachcha kya kar raha hai, right? So see the name of Masi app, and what it does, it monitors the child care institutions in real time. So basically this is a CCTV app. So you can understand how appropriately the Masi app has been named. What Mausi does, she eavesdrops on other people's children, and this also does the same. Similarly, there is a Ghar portal. Ghar portal is Go Home and Reunite portal, which is for restoration and repatriation of trafficked children. So these are the key initiatives. The most interesting one was the Masi app by far. So people who don't know Hindi, in Hindi we call Mausi or Khala. In Urdu, the person who is the sister of our own mother, that is called as Mausi or Masi. What is Mausi or Masi called in your language, or our maternal aunt? What are they called in your language? Please let me know. I want to know. Now there are state level commissions also which are established under this act, and they function under the NCPCR. But their members are appointed by the state government, and their composition, eligibility and tenure are very similar to the NCPCR. Right? Mausi in Jharkhand. Yes, I also call my Mausi as Mausi. So now this question. Fufu in Nepali, okay. In Marathi, it's called as Moshi, right? Moshi, so something like that. Bengali, Mashimuni, okay. Central government on the recommendation of a committee chaired by Education Minister. Term of tenure is 3 years or until 5 years. The term of NCPCR, or for members it is 60 years or 3 years. Okay, and for chairman it is 3 years or 65 years. The NCPCR is mandated to monitor effective implementation of POCSO, Juvenile Justice and Right to Education Act. Which of the following is correct? Only third. Yes, you all are right. Machine Gujarati. Okay. Anyone from South? Now moving on to this article, this talks about NPA rate against the outstanding amount, particularly in Mudra Yojana. Now NPA rates of loans taken under the PM Mudra Yojana, for which has been taken from Scheduled Commercial Bank, has increased to 9.81% in the March 2025, up from 5.47%. Pinni in Telugu, Dodamaya if elder sister, sir. Okay. Dodama in which language, Baga? In Marathi. Chikamma if younger sister. Reshma in Tamil Nadu. Now first let us understand what is NPA. If you don't return the loan or an interest for more than 90 days, that loan becomes an NPA. In Karnataka, okay. Now a loan that you not return or its interest, if you don't repay it for more than 90 days, that loan would become an NPA. So the total amount of loans that become NPA is gross NPA, and net NPA is the difference between gross NPA and provisioning. So what banks do is that a portion of their profits banks keep aside, so that in case the loans become NPA, they have some money left that they can extend this as a loans, and this is called as provisioning. So if you minus gross NPA and you minus provisioning from it, you get net NPA. And NPA is what? Any loan or interest that you haven't paid for more than 90 days. Understood? Now further, the loans or NPAs are classified into different categories. Suppose if you don't return the loan for, or if a loan has become NPA for up to 12 months, that will be called as substandard asset. If the loan has remained an NPA for more than 1 year, that becomes a doubtful asset. And if the bank thinks that they will unable to recover that loan ever, that becomes a lost asset. So suppose your breakup happens. So the first 90 days of your breakup, or after 90 days when you know the breakup has finalized, you know that is an NPA. And if from your breakup the time has passed for up to 12 months, that would become a substandard asset. After 12 months, your breakup becomes a doubtful asset. And if your partner whom you have broken up with marries to another person, that partner becomes a lost asset. Understood this now? I hope this will help you remember everything. Now let us come back to PM Mudra Yojana. PM Mudra Yojana is a scheme of government where loans are provided to non-corporate, non-farm or non-agricultural activities. So you as an individual, if you want to start an enterprise not relating to corporate, not relating to agricultural sector, you can get loans up to 10 lakh rupees under Mudra scheme, right? Mudra, you can understand, is a full form of Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency. You can abbreviate it. This is called as Mudra. Now this scheme was started in 2015 and this scheme provided loans in 2015 up to 10 lakhs. How it has been revised, I'll tell you. Now, you have to remember this fund is not directly provided by an authority known as Mudra. Mudra is an authority which provides these funds to banks, and it is the banks and NBFCs who are giving you the loans under Mudra scheme. So you as a consumer can't go directly to Mudra. जाके बोलोगे लोन चाहिए वो भगा देंगे तुम्हें. Okay? So loans are given by commercial banks, RRBs or different financial institutions, and they get this funding from Mudra. Yes, any business you can start, you will get this loan under Mudra up to 10 lakh rupees. But the business has to be non-corporate business or a non-agricultural business. Now the categories of loan are also provided under different headings. You can understand the names are very relatable. If you want small loans, loans up to 50,000 rupees, those loans are called as Shishu loans. Shishu is what? A child. Similarly, a teenager is in Hindi is called as Kishore. So this moderate amount of loans, that is from 50,000 to 5 lakhs, the loans that you get falls under Kishore category. And Tarun is an adult. So Tarun, or the word Tarun means adult. So the loans that you get here are larger amount of loans, that is from 5 lakh to 10 lakhs. But recently in the last budget, government introduced another category known as Tarun Plus category. So in Tarun Plus, the entrepreneurs who have taken a Tarun loan and they have successfully returned back these loans, they are eligible to get now a bigger loan from 10 to 20 lakhs. So now under Mudra Yojana, the maximum amount of loan that a beneficiary can get becomes 20 lakhs. Please remember it. Okay. So these Tarun Plus loans will only be provided to individuals who had taken loans before under Tarun category and have successfully repaid it. Now, suppose if the loans become bad, and suppose if the banks gives loans to a budding entrepreneur and for some reason that entrepreneur fails to return the loan back. So will banks extend loans in future to such people? The answer is no. So Mudra is guaranteeing to the financial institutions that in case if you fail to return back the loan, or if in case if your loan becomes an NPA, I will compensate you for the loss. So the guarantee coverage of loans up to 20 lakhs will be provided under this credit guarantee fund for micro units, which has been created by government specially for this purpose. कहते हैं ना भाई देख लेगा, तेरा भाई देख लेगा. This is the bhai who is looking after it. So CCMFU is a government backed initiative aimed at providing credit guarantee coverage to loans extended to micro enterprises and small businesses under Mudra scheme, and this is a fund which is managed by National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company. Please remember it. And loans under Mudra are not requiring to you, or it does not require you to give certain thing as a collateral. So these are collateral free loans. You don't have to make any deposits or give any collateral for this loan. Now solve this question. Yes, A. This question. Under PM Mudra Yojana, Mudra directly lends collateral free loans to up to 10 lakhs to individual micro entrepreneurs. Is this correct? Does Mudra give loan directly? Incorrect. Forget about the number. This becomes incorrect here itself. Yes. Credit Guarantee Fund for Micro Units. It is an organization managed by who? National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company, not SIDBI. So neither 1 nor 2 is right. Option D, which you can't see, but you can see these statements. Now let us cover the Global Solar Alliance, which is the International Solar Alliance, or many people pronounce it as solar, but it is solar, or whatever you pronounce it, you have to understand this. International Solar Alliance plans to establish a global research hub in India and set up 17 centers of excellence worldwide. So what this International Solar Alliance does, let us find out. Now this was launched in 2015 in the Paris Summit. Paris Summit is a very notable summit which led to Paris Agreement. This is also called as COP21, Conference of Parties. 21st meeting of UNFCCC happened in 2015 in Paris, where India and France together announced that they are forming an international solar alliance. And the purpose of this alliance is that it supports the addition of more and more 1000 gigawatts of solar capacity and mobilize funding for investment in these projects. It focuses on overcoming political, regulatory, technical and financial barriers so that solar energy can be deployed. You increase the deployment of renewable energy and you reduce your dependence on fossil fuels or polluting sources of energy. And it provides technical, financial help to all the countries who want to increase their overall solar power. Now, what you have to understand that this country at present includes 120 countries who are signatories of the convention and 102 countries who have become an official member by giving the necessary documents and providing the necessary ratification. So, how you can relate the process of ratification? So, how you go to a bank, you give your documents like PAN, Aadhaar, banks identify and then enable you to open an account. Similarly, countries, they must also be submitting some kind of documents to the ISA. Therefore, ISA recommends and finalizes that they now have become a member. This is the ratification. Similarly, ratification also includes approval by the different law authorities. So, in many countries, that ratification must be done by legislatures. In India, who does such a ratification? It is the Union Cabinet, not the Parliament, Union Cabinet. So, whenever we enter into an agreement, it is permitted or ratified in India by the Union Cabinet. Now, this provides various forms of support to its member countries. It trains local stakeholders in solar technology, like people who will install these power centers, who will maintain these power centers. It facilitates financing for the project, which has been recently increased in form of viable gap funding. What is viability gap funding? Anyone knows it? Can anyone tell me what is viability gap funding? Well, whenever you start a project, there might be certain years before you start making a profit from that project or a business. So, to help the business to start or keep on functioning until the time it makes profit, you need certain kind of financial support. And this financial support is called as viability gap funding. So, this is how this project or this body will provide increased viability gap funding up to 35% of the project cost to developing countries. Similarly, it also helps establish training centers where the people who will deploy or who will install these power projects will get trained. Understood? Now, this is the governance structure of the ISA. At the top is assembly, followed by standing committee, followed by regional committee. Let us understand how these works. Now, the assembly, as the name suggests, is an apex decision making body. It includes representative of member countries and ministerial level people from these countries. They meet annually to decide on director general, operational budget and other programs of this. The day-to-day functioning happens through standing committee, which includes president, co-president and vice president. It serves as a bridge between assembly and regional committee, and it facilitates discussion and decisions on how to implement the directions given by the assembly. Similarly, there is regional committee, which includes 4 regional groups: Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe and Latin America. Each region has their own committee that meets annually and assesses the program. So this is basically wanting to decentralize the deployment of power through regional committees. Now the decision making process is that the discussions are held initially at the regional level, then they are being held at the standing committee level at the world level. Now in these turn, they provide insight and recommendation to the assembly, and each member country has one vote in the assembly. So here the process is very democratic in nature, and the discussions happen from decentralized manner, and then the policy decisions are taken at the top after consulting all the necessary members. Now solve these questions. Is this true? Gurugram में well, like StudyIQ, which is also headquartered in Gurgaon, ISA is also headquartered in Gurgaon, and it was started in 2015 at Paris Summit, correct? Earlier, the criteria of countries becoming a member of ISA was only that those countries who are located from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, only those countries in middle could have joined it. Now it is open to all the members of the UN. Okay, so all the members of UN can theoretically become a part of ISA. So now this is incorrect. Initially starting में question आता तो ये सही होता. Okay. So first and third is right. Option C is your right answer. Now let us move to this last article on ICC International Criminal Court. Now US administration has proposed new sanctions on International Criminal Court. Why? Because International Criminal Court is trying to investigate and prosecute Israeli leaders, including the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. So let us understand what International Criminal Court does. It is the world's first permanent international criminal tribunal. It was created by a convention known as Rome Statute, and it entered into force from 1st of July 2002. Now this tries individuals for the most serious international crimes like genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, crimes against aggression, and this is a court of last resort. When the judicial system of countries fail, then only this starts functioning. Now, in the recent era, this has tried to prosecute many of the famous leaders across the globe, maybe Vladimir Putin, maybe the Benjamin Netanyahu, all have been tried to, or this body has tried to frame accusations on these crimes on these individuals, but has it been able to actually prosecute against them? The answer is no. So not a very effective body. Now the membership of this body includes 125 members, but bigger countries of the world are not part of it. Be it China, India, Israel, Russia, US, all of them are not the members of International Criminal Court. International Criminal Court is supported by funding from state parties and voluntary contributions made by NGOs, etc., that is non-state authorities. Also, this includes 18 judges. They serve on a non-renewable 9-year terms, and the presidency includes 3 judges, one president and 2 vice president, who are elected from among the judges themselves. Similarly, there is an office of prosecutor who receives referral and conducts investigation, and there is a registry which provides administrative and operational support to the office of prosecutor. Now, the jurisdiction of ICC is that it prosecutes individuals, not states, unlike ICJ, and it can act only if the crime has occurred in the place or in the country where or who has signed the Rome Statute, or if the person responsible for this conduct belongs to one of the state parties. So it can function or investigate cases in either one of these cases also. And it can only intervene if the national courts are unwilling or unable to prosecute, and this applies only to the crimes that have been committed after the 1st of July 2002, because we have understand even in the constitution you can't have a retrospective jurisdiction of any criminal activities. Okay. Now the relations with UN body, ICC is not a UN body, however it has signed a cooperation agreement with UN. So Security Council theoretically can refer cases, even those cases which theoretically are outside the ICC jurisdiction. Understood? Any doubt in ICC? It is different than ICJ. ICJ is a part of UN, a principal organ of UN. ICC is not. So now let's see how many of you are able to solve this question. Well, again, answer is D. ICC does not have its enforcement mechanism. They basically call law enforcement authorities of different countries and ask them to help him. So option D is your right answer. All of you are right. None of these two are right. So this brings an end to another session. Okay. Now I'm telling you right now, the next session would depend on the views count of this session. If it is too low, obviously I won't be motivated. You can understand my problem. So if you want more sessions, please increase comments, increase likes, increase views. Deal, everyone? Will you help me in this regard? Okay. So with this, have a good weekend. I will also work tomorrow. There's a discussion which go live on this channel on mains paper. So I will take the discussions for GS paper 3 tomorrow afternoon. Okay. So have a good weekend. Enjoy, do rest, and let's see when we meet each other again.